Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari begins by exploring the incredible journey of our species, Homo sapiens, from insignificant apes to the rulers of the planet. Yuval Noah Harari opens by describing how, for most of Earth's history, humans were just one of many species of animals. Around 13.5 billion years ago, matter, energy, and time came into existence during the Big Bang. About 4.5 billion years ago, Earth formed, and 3.8 billion years ago, organisms appeared. From these beginnings emerged Homo sapiens, the species that would eventually dominate the world. The book divides human history into three major revolutions: the cognitive revolution, which began about 70,000 years ago, the agricultural revolution, which began about 12,000 years ago, and the scientific revolution, which started around 500 years ago. Each revolution drastically reshaped human societies and the world around them. In Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari, the author describes how the cognitive revolution allowed humans to imagine, communicate, and cooperate in ways no other species could. Before this revolution, humans were simple foragers living in small groups. The world had several human species, including Neanderthals, Homo erectus, and Homo floresiensis. But around 70,000 years ago, Homo sapiens began to develop the ability to think in abstract terms and share complex ideas. This transformation led to myths, legends, and stories, fictional realities that allowed large groups of strangers to cooperate. Harari explains that these imagined orders, religions, nations, and laws became the foundation of all large human societies. One of the most important messages of Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari, is that these imagined realities are what set us apart from all other species. Animals can cooperate only with close kin or small groups, but humans can unite millions of strangers through shared beliefs. The power of storytelling and imagination enabled Homo sapiens to create complex societies, trade networks, and cultures. It was the beginning of human dominance on Earth. During the cognitive revolution, Homo sapiens spread across continents. They migrated from Africa to the Middle East, Europe, Asia, and eventually to Australia and the Americas. As they spread, they caused the extinction of many other human species and countless animals. Harari calls this the first ecological disaster caused by humans. Yet, these same migrations laid the foundation for global human culture. Everywhere they went, Homo sapiens adapted, developed languages, created art, and formed spiritual beliefs. The next great turning point in Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari, is the agricultural revolution. About 12,000 years ago, humans began to shift from foraging to farming. This was not an overnight change, but a slow process that transformed every aspect of life. People began domesticating plants and animals, settling in permanent villages, and producing surplus food. This surplus allowed populations to grow, but it also brought new problems. Yuval Noah Harari argues that the agricultural revolution was both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, it allowed humans to produce more food and build civilizations. On the other hand, it trapped them in hard labor and led to the rise of social hierarchies. Farmers worked longer and harder than foragers, yet their diets became less diverse, and they were more vulnerable to disease and famine. Harari calls this history's biggest fraud, because humans thought they were controlling nature, but in reality, wheat, rice, and corn domesticated humans. In Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari, the author explains how the agricultural revolution created the conditions for kingdoms, cities, and empires. As populations grew, societies needed systems of order. People developed laws, property rights, and religions to keep large numbers of individuals working together. Myths like divine kingship and belief in gods became tools for cooperation. Writing was invented to record taxes, trade, and laws, giving rise to bureaucracy. One striking idea from Sapiens. A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari is that large-scale cooperation always depends on shared myths. Whether it's belief in God, money, or human rights, these ideas exist only in our collective imagination, but they are powerful enough to shape reality. For example, money has no inherent value. It works only because everyone believes in it. Similarly, nations and corporations exist only because people agree they do. This ability to believe in shared fictions allowed humans to organize societies on a massive scale. The book then explores the unification of humankind. Over thousands of years, human cultures that began separately started to merge. Through trade, conquest, and migration, ideas and technologies spread across the globe. Harari identifies three unifying forces: money, empires, and religion. Money, as a universal medium of exchange, connected people who had never met. Empires spread political systems and cultures. Religions gave meaning and order to vast populations in Sapiens. A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. The author shows how empires shaped history not only through conquest, but also through cultural exchange. The Roman Empire, for instance, spread ideas of law and citizenship, while the Islamic and Chinese empires advanced science and art. Despite their violence, empires also played a role in creating a global civilization. Religion, too, evolved. Early religions were animistic, seeing spirits in trees, rivers, and animals. With the rise of farming and cities came organized religions like polytheism and later monotheism. These faiths unified people under shared moral codes. Eventually, universal religions such as Buddhism, Christianity, and Islam emerged, offering salvation and ethics that applied to all humanity. The next major transformation in Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari, is the scientific revolution, which began around 1500 CE. Harari argues that this revolution began with an admission of ignorance. Humans started to realize they did not know everything and could discover truth through observation, experimentation, and reason. This mindset led to rapid advances in science, technology, and exploration. The scientific revolution also changed humanity's relationship with power and knowledge. In the past, knowledge served religion and tradition. Now it served progress. European explorers sailed around the world, discovering new lands and resources. Empires expanded globally, fueled by scientific discoveries and capitalist ambition. The marriage of science, empire, and capitalism created the modern world. Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari explains that capitalism became the dominant global system because it is built on trust in the future. In earlier societies, wealth was seen as finite. But capitalism depends on the idea of growth, that tomorrow will bring more wealth than today. This belief drives innovation, investment, and expansion. Money, credit, and banks became the engines of the modern economy. Harari also examines how the Industrial Revolution, which followed the scientific revolution, transformed daily life. Machines replaced human labor, cities expanded, and mass production reshaped societies. People moved from farms to factories, and new social classes emerged. The Industrial Revolution also changed time itself. Workers now live by the clock, not by the rhythm of nature. Throughout Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari, the author reminds us that progress always has a price. Technological and economic growth brought wealth and comfort, but also inequality, exploitation, and environmental destruction. The same scientific advances that cured diseases also created weapons of mass destruction. The power of Homo sapiens grew immense, but so did the consequences of their actions. In modern times, humans have entered what Harari calls the Anthropocene, an age in which human activity dominates the planet's ecosystems. We have altered the climate, wiped out species, and reshaped the Earth. The question, Harari says, is not whether we are powerful, but whether we are wise enough to use that power responsibly. The book also explores the rise of humanism. the belief that humans themselves are the source of meaning and authority. In the modern world, religion has lost much of its power, replaced by ideologies like liberalism, socialism, and nationalism. Each of these systems puts faith in humanity's ability to shape its destiny. Humanism celebrates individual rights and freedom, but also faces new challenges from technology and biotechnology. In Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari, the author closes by examining the future of Homo sapiens. Advances in genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, and biotechnology may soon transform us into something beyond human, what Harari calls Homo Deus, or godlike beings. We may design our emotions, extend our lifespans, and merge with machines. The story of sapiens might soon end, replaced by a new species that we ourselves create. Yet, Harari warns, even as our power grows, our happiness remains uncertain. Modern humans enjoy more comfort and safety than ever, but we are not necessarily happier than our ancestors. The pursuit of meaning continues, even in a world of science and technology. Perhaps, he suggests, happiness lies not in power or progress, but in understanding ourselves. Ultimately, Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari, is a story about how humans became gods. It is a reflection on the power of imagination, cooperation, and belief. From the cognitive revolution to the scientific revolution, from foraging to space travel, Homo sapiens have rewritten the rules of life. Yet, our greatest challenge remains understanding what to do with that power. Harari ends by asking profound questions. What do we want to become? What kind of future do we wish to create? And most importantly, can we control the forces we have unleashed? These questions remind us that history is not over. It continues to unfold through our choices. Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari offers not just a history of our species, but a mirror to see ourselves more clearly. It teaches that our strength lies in our stories, our cooperation, and our endless curiosity. The journey of Homo sapiens is far from finished, but understanding our past is the first step toward shaping our future.